All right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is March 11th, and it's a little bit early in the season for group therapy, but here we are. Gerrit Cole headed to the MRI tube, and Aaron Judge going to miss a few days. Aaron Boone says that he's beat up. We'll talk about it. We are all rotting, and life is a carnival of pain. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
New York City.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Welcome back, everybody. Damian Serrano, perhaps with the best comment of the day right out of the gate, says this is exactly what Scott Boras has been waiting for, and I fear you are correct. How's your day going, everybody? I'm just checking in mid-spring training game. I wanted to hop on a little sooner to talk about the Gerrit Cole news, but I was working the Foul Territory show when it broke, and so I kind of had to wait. Yanks are swinging the bats pretty well today. They're up 4-1 in the bottom of the third inning. Austin Wells smoked one off the left center field wall. He's got some great opposite power, cleared the bases, and he is up right now. Just took a big hack with a man on second base and swung over it. But we'll get to the news that's on everybody's mind. Gerrit Cole is headed to the Carl A. Pavano Memorial MRI tube.
Now you don't know what pain is.
Daniel Jack says he's depressed. And a lot of that going around today among Yankees fans. The only word that we have so far officially is that he wasn't bouncing back as well as he expected between his spring training starts. Now, that's not at all what you want to hear. I've been chewing on that for the last couple of hours, and there's just no scenario where that's good news. Because even if it's the best news, where he doesn't need reconstructive UCL surgery or Tommy John surgery, as it's usually called, then he's still got a sore arm the year after throwing 209 innings for us and winning a Cy Young, which at his age is going to be a problem. In a year that we're really counting on him to lead this rotation, help get us back to the playoffs, it's a big concern. Even if it's not a torn UCL or something really, really bad, it's something that's going to have to be managed and probably flare up from time to time. But most of the time, when pitchers have elbow pain these days, it ends up being the UCL. And I'm going to just assume it is so that when we do ultimately find out about it, it's just a little bit less awful. Just, prepare myself mentally. I've got a dog. You guys know about Cece. She is 12 years old and she is declining. And, I'm just mentally preparing myself for the end. If you mentally prepare yourself, you think that it's not going to hurt as much as it actually will, but somehow it always does. So, again, I can't imagine a scenario where he doesn't miss at least some time, because even if it is just a flexor strain or inflammation or bone chips or any number of other things that they could find in a MRI, they will find something. He's a 33-year-old major league pitcher. They're going to find something. And it's going to mean that he gets shut down. And, being 18 days out from spring training, let's say you shut him down for 2 weeks, which is, in my opinion, the best possible outcome. They shut him down for 2 weeks. The equivalent of missing 2 or 3 starts. Well, he's not going to start opening day. Might not start till mid-April. They probably won't want him to pitch in cold weather. And, we've been talking a lot about how the Yankees need to win during the Aaron Judge and Gerrit Cole prime. And that prime may have ended for Gerrit Cole this morning. If it's Tommy John surgery, he won't be back until halfway through his age 34 season, if at all next season. I would say probably mid-summer next year. August, maybe. And then he's just going to be in basically recovery mode for the first few months. So his next full healthy season wouldn't be till his age 35 season. Your prime is over at 35. I'm sorry. This was the year. So I understand if a lot of you are feeling bad, feeling apprehensive, feeling worried. I know I am. I feel sick to my stomach. And, I feel your pain. Spencer says he would throw Beater and Warren in the rotation. Just to recap how good this guy was last year, 7.4 wins above replacement, according to Baseball Reference. 15 wins, 33 games started, 209 innings, 222 strikeouts, 0.98 whip, and 1 Cy Young Award. You just can't replace him. No matter how good your prospects are, you cannot replace a Gerrit Cole. Now, you could go out and sign a Blake Snell. They absolutely could afford that. They had $800 million in revenue last year. They didn't spend it all. They absolutely could try and take advantage of this Juan Soto season and instead of letting it go by the wayside by going out and being aggressive and getting Blake Snell or getting Jordan Montgomery. Neither one of those guys replaces Gerrit Cole, although Blake Snell comes the closest because he won the Cy Young Award himself last year. But consider the rest of the rotation. Rodon has been iffy this spring at best. At best. He's still throwing 92 and throwing meatballs. Nestor Cortez, trying to come back from an injury-riddled season himself. Clark Schmidt, who knows what you're going to get? Hey, I'm a poet and I didn't even know I was rhyming those words. It's going to put a lot more pressure on Marcus Stroman as Nevin beats Holmes with a perfect opposite field single. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Stroman. But to be fair, Stroman has looked outstanding this spring. If Cole is out for the season, the only way I can see the Yankees, maybe getting back to the playoffs or going deep into the playoffs would be if they get one of Snell or Montgomery. But even then, neither one of those guys is going to be ready for opening day. Trevor Bauer, I've seen his name mentioned a number of times. Look, if he was willing to come in at league minimum, like he has said, and still nobody was signing him, that makes you think that he's just kind of toxic. Whatever they know about that we don't know about publicly has got to be so bad that a team won't even, take the minimum for him to play. That's ridiculous. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's ever going to pitch again. But would it shock me? No, it didn't shock me when they brought in, Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry. They brought those guys back, after their problems. Steve Howe, how many drug suspensions did he have? They got Aroldis Chapman after his domestic violence thing. The Yankees have been known to rehabilitate guys' careers. Will they do it with Bauer? Well, you won't have to worry about the Gerrit Cole clubhouse drama if Cole ends up being out for the season. I think if Gerrit Cole is out for the season, anything is on the table. So it's just not a good situation. The other news, as Austin Wells guns one to second and nails him. Nice throw. Austin Wells has looked great this spring. Crushing the ball, throwing the ball well. Just a quick release. I want to see this one more time. Oh, man. Great pop time. Throws a strike to second base. Nice job. The other news is that Aaron Judge is a little banged up, a little beat up, according to Aaron Boone. This doesn't have the feel of a serious injury to me, but the Yankees have lied to us about this type of thing before. Aaron Hicks comes to mind. Luis Severino comes to mind. It was about this time a couple of spring trainings ago where they both needed to miss a few days, a little bit of soreness, a little bit of back stiffness, whatever, and they both ended up missing significant time. Same thing happened with Carlos Rodon last year. He's got a little bit of back stiffness, so he's going to sit down for a few days. Then we saw him in July, and he was awful. Anthony Rizzo was fine until he wasn't. Clint Frazier was fine until he wasn't. Fact is, the Yankees cannot be trusted when they give a medical diagnosis. Daniel Jock said he's not worried about Judge, nor am I. I think Judge is going to be fine. But I am simply saying the Yankees cannot be trusted with either diagnosing injuries or being truthful with describing those injuries to the media. VVUC says Wells is terrible at catching. So you may not have seen these reports, but the reports out of camp this year have been that his catching has been phenomenal this year. Like, phenomenal. The thing that the Yankees value more than anything is framing, and he's doing an excellent job framing pitches. Jonathan Alvarez says, serious question, if Cole is out, who would be your number one starter? And how would you set up your rotation now? Oh, it's hard to even contemplate. I think Stroman, for me, has pitched the best this spring, and he's got the attitude I want for the number one starter. So he probably slots in at number one. I just can't go with Rodon, even though he's got the highest payroll or highest salary other than Gerrit Cole. There's just not much that I trust about him. He's whether it's a temperament thing or whether it's just his velocity is down, his confidence. I want a guy who's always confident. I don't want a guy who needs to rebuild his confidence. Stroman strikes me as having the kind of swagger that you want out of the number one starter. Now, does he have the same ability? No, probably not that he used to have. But, Okay, according to Boone, Cole should be okay. But I must have missed where Boone got his doctorate. I do not trust Aaron Boone. I will believe Gerrit Cole will be okay when we see him throwing on a Yankees mound again in a couple of weeks. That's when I'll believe it. Mama says Rodon is a bum.
Oh!
Vinny C says, how is Judge beat up? Is he moonlighting as a running back? I don't get it. Man up. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. Like I said earlier, we can't see everything that's behind the scenes. What if he fouls a ball with 100-plus mile-an-hour exit velocity off of his toe that he had injured last year? You might want to get him a few days off of his feet. What if he's taking live BP and he takes a ball off the wrist or off the hands or off the back, the ribs, and he's bruised and he just needs a few days to heal up? Well, now's the time to fix that. The time to fix the roof is when the sun is shining. John F. Kennedy said that, and I've always believed it. You've got the time right now to fix things. I have no problem with Aaron Judge sitting for a few days if he is indeed just, not feeling great, needs a little bit of rest. But I got a real problem with, Gerrit Cole potentially being out for the season. So the Yankees are going to need to address that pitching. John Ennis says, I bet that Montas has a better year than Rodon. That would definitely be interesting. I don't think it's going to happen, but, we'll see. So, look, now is not the time to panic. We can panic when we get a bad diagnosis, but now is the time to worry. So I don't blame you if, like me, you're sweating this news. So hang in there. And Donnie Clark, I agree with this, says, Stroh probably slots into the one spot because you can't trust Rodon.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Will Warren pitched pretty well today. Went 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Did have too many walks, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. It does look like it's very windy in Florida. And I know that, especially early in the season, when you're pitching with high winds, that's the toughest time to control the baseball. So, Ira Sparrow says, how many years in a row have we dealt with major injuries to major players? It seems like it happens every year. Whether it's Stanton, whether it's Judge, now Gerrit Cole, Luis Severino. Going back to when Hicks got hurt. I mean, it's just every year. Every year. And it's getting kind of old. VVUC says, we're like the Mets with major players injured year after year. You wonder if it's something they're putting in the water in New York. Huh? I don't know. maybe we're cursed. But let's just hope that Gerrit Cole heals up. I just wanted to hop on for a few minutes and talk about this with you guys. A little bit of group therapy. Let's take a couple more questions, wrap it up.
I gotta get out of here!
A. Jaws, again, says, sign Bauer. Seeing a lot of that go around.
You gotta go.
I don't anticipate it happening. If he's willing to play for the minimum and nobody's signing him, that tells you something is really bad out there.
Game over, man.
All right, the game is on,
over.
yes, so tune in. I'm not going to do a recap today. I just want to hop on and talk about these injuries, but we got some comments, or some content, rather, coming up. Going to do a recap on either Wednesday or Friday, maybe both. And then Saturday, doing a podcast with Terrence, another This Week in Yankees Baseball. And then Monday, the Beat Report with Max Goodman will be back. So we're really kicking up the coverage as the season gets closer and closer. And hopefully that season will include Gerrit Cole. Javier Velez says, Cole better not get Tommy John, and we are in agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you then.